Hey guys, Steve here from Bloom Audio. Today we're going to talk about Eletech cables. Eletech is a fairly new company on the cable scene, but they've been making waves with cables that look, feel, and most importantly sound amazing. So we're going to do a quick overview of their products and different lines, and I'll give some impressions about the build quality and their sonic characteristics. Eletech divides their products into three main lines: Virtues, School of Athens, and Parnassus. Each cable line is inspired by the works of Raphael, the Renaissance artist, not the Ninja Turtle. The Virtues series is their lowest price line. That includes the Fortitude, which is an OCC, that's Ohio Continuous Cast, copper cable, starting at $199, and then also the Prudence, which is a silver-plated OCC cable that starts at $249. At Bloom, we also carry the Virtues series in connections and terminations, more focused on over-ear headphones, as well as the standard IEM one. So, 2.4 or 2.5, 4.4, XLR. We've got a variety of stuff, and connectors for Meze, Audeze, Focal, Hi-Fi Man, and other ones that are compatible with those same ones. So that's another reason to look into the Virtue series. Next up is the School of Athens, which has Socrates and the Plato. The Socrates is a monocrystal copper cable. It starts at $699, and Plato is pure monocrystal silver at $999. Currently, Aristotle is missing there, but maybe he's coming soon since he came after Socrates and Plato. And finally, we have the Parnassus series, which at the time of this video only includes the Iliad, which is a cable crafted from gold, silver, and palladium, and it's priced at $17.99. However, we're expecting news very soon on the release of another cable being added to the Parnassus line, so keep an eye out for that. Eletech also recently introduced a line of adapters and interconnects, which use the materials from the School of Athens and Parnassus lines to create a higher end balanced cable adapters that will pair well with your high-end cables. So one of the things I really like about the Eletech cables is just the feel and the build. There's a good mix of softness with just the right amount of stiffness in all of these cables. They just have a really good feel. They're easy to coil, but then they're not too soft where they just kind of flop around. But you can kind of see there's not a lot of memory to it, not a lot of stiffness, but like just a good feel right in the middle. And that's even at the Fortitude and the Prudence, which are the lower ones. They still have that same sort of feeling. And they still have features in other cables like the Kevlar core and all of that, and good insulators. It's just a matter of whatever they're doing in their construction really makes a nice feeling cable. When you get up to the Iliad, it's just this very sort of like silky, buttery, soft feeling cable. It's got just the right amount of weight to it, very soft feel, and it just looks almost like jewelry. I mean, it's made of silver and gold, so I guess it would. And it just really, overall, I've been impressed with the quality of the cables themselves, the hardware, and everything else. Even just from from a look and feel perspective. All these cables feel like upgrades over most of the stock cables that you're going to get with IEMs. While cables aren't going to totally transform the sound of your headphones. No cable is going to turn the Legend X into a analytical reference monitor. They can accentuate the characteristics you like or soften some of the ones that you don't. In some cases, they can really just reveal detail and sort of lift a veil that you maybe didn't even know that was feeling veiled before. So in general, you'll find copper tends towards warmth. Silver towards more detail and brightness. And these characteristics are sort of related to, one, the purity. It's going to determine, especially with the detail. But at its core, it's basically the level of resistance coming down the wire, that the different materials and the different levels of purity are providing. So with the Fortitude, a lot of stock cables are copper. So you might wonder, well, why would I want to upgrade to, a copper cable when I already have a copper cable? So again, the big difference there is the purity, where the Fortitude uses OCC, which is Ohio continuous cast copper, versus the OFC copper, or oxygen-free copper, being redundant there, in most stock cables. So there's a higher level of purity. You're going to get a higher level of detail out of the OCC copper than out of the OFC copper. And you're also just typically getting a higher build quality in an Eletech cable than you're going to get in something that came with the IEMs. And in most cases, outside of a couple, very high-end IEMs that also come bundled with a high-end cable. So Prudence is silver plated copper, and that's going to blend some of these characteristics of the silver, which tend towards brightness and detail, with the copper that's going to tend towards warmth and sort of low-end texture. So you get a little bit of both of that. So I've listened to, mixed and matched as many of these cables as I could with these different IEMs. And I find that with some IEMs, the Prudence actually really enhances the deep, more sub-bass in a way that the Fortitude doesn't, as well as hitting the highs as well. So there's really a lot of complexity in the sound of the Prudence, and a lot of detail and information across the whole frequency spectrum that you're getting with that sort of cable. So moving up on the list are the two I haven't heard personally, but I've talked to people who have. You have the Plato and the Socrates. The Plato being pure monocrystal silver, and the Socrates pure monocrystal copper. And with the Socrates, you're basically getting a sort of the ultimate blend of what copper and silver can offer, in that you're getting this very high purity copper that's going to have a faster transmission rate, more detail than your typical copper, but still retain that feeling of copper with some of the detail that you might expect from silver, with still retaining the warm characteristic of copper. And with the Plato, you're getting, again, the pure silver is going to tend towards a brighter sound and just basically be, I've heard it described as, a tube full of detail. So at the very top of the line, there's the Iliad with gold, silver, and palladium. So I can't really speak too well to the sonic characteristics of gold and palladium, because this is the only cable I've heard it in. What I can tell you is that it's absolutely just incredible detail, texture, and just sort of enhancement across the full range, Where this is, when I think of the Iliad, especially when paired with a really top-end IEM, that's where I feel like it's pulling back a little bit of this veil that you didn't know was there, almost like you're cleaning the dust off your sound. And it really provides a full spectrum enhancement of the sound. Depending on what you're looking for, there's a lot of options in the Eletech lineup. Prudence and Fortitude are both affordable replacements for stock cables and they're going to enhance the look of the IEM while also providing a better sound quality than most of your stock cables. Plato and Socrates provide, again, beautiful, well-crafted, high purity options for silver and copper. If you want the highest level of purity and performance in those cables, in a copper or a silver, Plato and Socrates are going to give you that. And Iliad is basically the best cable that I've heard. It's when paired with a top-end IEM, you can really appreciate the additional detail and clarity of the cable. Or if you have something like an SB2000 and the Sultan and the Iliad, you're just getting all of that detail delivered through the full chain, and it's really incredible. So we have a guide to Eletech cables at bloomaudio.com, as well as their full lineup of cables and adapters that you can check out, in a variety of connections and terminations for, everything from Audeze, Meze, Hi-Fi Man, Focal, to selection of IEMs in 2-pin or MMCX. So go check that out, and thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with more hi-fi personal audio content.